Today, for the 7th round of the Indy Racing League, the 21-car field will be lapping at well over 200 miles an hour on the state-of-the-art Kansas Speedway. Will Britain's Dan Wheldon retake the lead of the series from his teammate Tony Kanaan in the Argent Mortgage 300? Yes, hello, I'm Kevin Piper, welcoming you to a crucial round of the Indy Racing League and a particularly hectic time as the season approaches the halfway point. It's also been a big week for the drivers in the league, with a surprise retirement from a veteran and the sacking of one of our 4 British drivers. And to discuss these turn of events, I'm joined by our regular IndyCar experts, Paul Cherry and Christopher Tate. Good afternoon, gentlemen. We will be hearing from them in just a moment. But first of all, let's catch up on the stories of qualifying, shall we? Indy 500 winner Buddy Rice is on pole again, his 3rd of the year, and his car sponsors are also sponsoring the race, so they are extremely happy, I can tell you. Championship leader Tony Kanaan of Brazil was just a fraction slower. He starts from 2nd place on the grid. But Dan Wheldon, he's had a troubled qualifying and he will start from 13th place. Lucky for some, we are hoping. So that's the qualifying news, but let's catch up now with the various shenanigans on the driver front. Andrew Marriott reporting now.
Kevin, it hasn't been a good week for 24-year-old Briton Mark Taylor. His team, Panther Racing, has finally lost patience with the young man. He's hit the wall a few too many times. Just see this a couple of weeks ago, and there is Mark into the wall, lots of sparks and more damage. The car craned away. That was a couple of weeks ago. Let's find out what happened last week under the lights. Taylor there, you see, in an incident and into the wall. Also taking out Britain's Dan Wheldon. There you see it again. And the team announced a few days ago that they had parted company with Taylor. And this man, Townsend Bell, last seen testing a BAR, takes over. He has experience in champ cars and will start 7th on the grid. And another surprise this week. After almost 30 years in racing, unexpectedly Al Unser Jr. decides to hang up his helmet. He's had a glorious, if sometimes turbulent, career. He won the Indy 500 in 1992 and 1994. He was the kart champion in 1990 and 1994. His most recent victory came at Texas last year. This season he's been driving for Patrick Racing, but on Tuesday he announced that he would hang up his helmet at the age of 42 to concentrate on the career of his son Al.
Yeah, of course, Franchitti taken out to Wheldon winning in Richmond last week. Gents, so many talking points. Let's first of all talk about the biggest, I guess, Al Unser Jr. I mean, after all these years, the legend retires. And out of the blue, I guess it's fair to say, Paul.
I think it's fair to say that it was out of the blue. Nobody would have suspected at the start of the season. However, I know Al was very upset with his performance, wasn't quite getting the best out of the car or the team, and he's a realist. He's been doing it a long time. When you're successful, you want to continue to be successful. He felt he couldn't be successful anymore, that age was against him, decided to step down.
Fair enough, but Christopher, to be fair, the dynasty continues because his son, Al Unser, well, just Al Unser Jr., if you like, I mean, he continues, and a good performance from him yesterday.
Well, yes, yesterday he came 3rd in the support series to the IRL, the Infinity Pro Series, and he did a good job. He's moved over from one of the Champ Car Junior Series, and it is extraordinary. The Unser dynasty has been around forever. I mean, his great uncle, Bobby, was testing in a Grand Prix BRM in 1968. The Unsers have been around forever, and I guess that the organisers are particularly keen if Big Al, or the present Al,
sure,
is going to retire, always known as Little Al. Too many of them are called Al.
Als.
But his now going to focus on his son's career, and maybe babyist Al, if that's what we're going to call him, is going to come on up through the ranks, and good for him. 3rd yesterday was a good start.
Absolutely. We shall see then. The Unser dynasty continues, but let's now talk about the Brits. Mark Taylor, sacked. Now, I know he's put it in the wall more times than we care to remember this season, but was that a bit harsh?
Yes, I think there's a little bit more to the story than perhaps we've been led to believe. Certainly Townsend, who was a guest on this show last year, has been doing those sort of races and can step straight in and fill the shoes. As we see, he's starting in 7th place. However, I understand he brought a little bit of commercial backing with him, which Panther is one of the not factory teams, and therefore they're always on the lookout for money. And unfortunately, Mark at the moment has cost them. But both John Barnes and Chevrolet were very complimentary about Mark. OK, they let him go, but they didn't say they didn't want him back.
Just a quick word about Frank Keaty, who's in 9th, and Dan Weldon, last week's winner, in 13th. But having said that, he won from 20th last week, so you can do it from the back in IRL.
Yes, I mean, for everyone who's cheering on Dan, who's having a great season, he did just last weekend come all the way through from 20th, so we're not too worried about starting from 13th, and Dario should have a good run from here. OK. Right, the race in Kansas is scheduled to start at quarter to the hour, so that gives us just enough time to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Live from London, it's the last cut of the cards for the Poker Million Final 6. Vegas veteran Nick Barbu, cool Swede John Backman, confident and cocky Fred Richardson, the Playboy Zach Goldsmith, Danger Man Dave Devilfish Julian, Irish Ace Donna O'Day, great TV, you bet your life. Poker Million, the Masters 2 Final, Friday live at 8, Sky Sports 2.
It's the Curry's Giant Summer Sale,
with hundreds of great savings across the store, like £500 off this Stove's brushed stainless steel double oven 7-burner range style cooker. It's now just $9.99. And we've a price breakthrough on this recordable DVD player. It's just £149. That's half price. In fact, we've so many great offers in the Curry's sale. You just can't miss.
It's easy for Curry's.
of course it is, David.
For the first time on special edition Disney DVD, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. And for a limited time, own the entire Lion King DVD collection.
The Carphone Warehouse is bursting with great deals. Get a free Nokia 7600, free 500 minutes, and even your money back on 6 months line rental.
When my dad had cancer, this woman helped him through his chemotherapy.
Without this woman, my brother would have died from serious stomach injuries.
Without that man, my sister would have died during heart surgery.
Do something amazing. Give blood.
Did you know that Direct Line could drive down what you're paying for your car insurance by up to 30%? Call or buy online.
OK, we'll be crossing over to Kansas in a little over a minute, but first we talked about the British drivers there, but we missed out Darren Manning. Now, what's happening with Manning and his team?
Well, I think two things are happening. One is the Ganassi team are in a bit of trouble, Kevin, at the moment. They're just not finding it possible to run up there with the Penske's. And the second thing is, it has to be said that Darren's been just a little wild in recent races. In fact, the commentator last week was rude enough to say he's hit everything except the pace car. He's just had a difficult time, but I'm sure he'll get it back together. Not only is he a really nice guy, he's a very talented race driver.
Is that youthful exuberance, inexperience? I mean, can he put it together and put it together quickly?
Yes, I think he can. I think he can put it together quickly. He was having a decent little run in the season up to about Indianapolis in the first few races, and it's just got a little too frenetic for him since then. He needs to calm down and pace himself a little bit more, but they've got to get the car back on top, and I think he's probably chasing the car, and that's what's setting the whole cycle in motion. OK, Paul, Dan Weldon could really help his championship hopes today with another win. He's kind of the complete package, isn't he?
Yes, he's come on enormously from last year when he made some rookie errors, but he learnt by them, and this year he's the real deal. OK, right, we're rooting for him. It's time now to cross over to Kansas and join our American commentators, Larry Rice, the former Indy racer, and he's alongside Gary Lee.
There was a huge traffic jam as we're giving you live coverage of what will be the pre-race activity here as the fans are still climbing the grandstand to their seats. There was a huge traffic jam outside Kansas Speedway, which is refreshing because we have not seen that in the past. There's going to be a big crowd here today. As we said, this is Independence Day as we celebrate the independence of America, and we normally celebrate
Oh, okay, as you can see, we have a slight problem with the wire from here across to Kansas. We will return to America as soon as we can. But, gents, let's just set up this race again today. And first of all, Paul, the characteristics of Kansas. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Well, basically, this year, first and foremost, it's about 5 miles an hour slower than it was last year. That's the most important fact, with the engine size being reduced. The track itself, 1.5 miles. Big wear rate for the tyres. It's a very abrasive surface, so we're going to look at perhaps 1 or 2 more pit stops than we'd normally encounter. So strategy is what it's going to be all about for this event.
And how about yourself, Christopher? Drivers to look out for. We've talked about the Brits, but who would you particularly pick out?
Well, Buddy Rice's performance on pole is strong and encouraging, and after all, he only got into the team as a reserve driver because of Kenny Brack's continuing illness. And incidentally, Kenny's stated this week that he's still uncomfortable and not sure that he's really fit to race again, so Buddy's run will continue for a while, but he's looking strong. And you've got to say that the championship leader, Tony Kanaan, second on the grid today. He's away in front of Dan Weldon. The points are so tight in the IRL with 50 for a win, but you get quite a lot of points all the way down the field.
Sure.
That Kanaan could really push his championship forward big time this afternoon.
Okay. Paul, Dario Franchitti, fair to say it's about time he kind of put in a winning performance for us.
Yes, he's had an incredible run of bad luck this season. I mean, he had bad luck last year falling off his motorcycle, but this year, being at the events, being taken out by other drivers, having engines, gearboxes, he's missed the slot all the time. If he can get to the front, he'll win it easily.
Okay. All right, well, gentlemen, hopefully we can rejoin the pictures from Kansas. So sit back and enjoy the 7th round of this year's IRL with Larry Rice and Gary Lee.
Simmons will collect some points as he gets his second ride of the season after finishing 16th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and we're going to see Carpenter. We'll see if Jeff Simmons coming back in can come in and challenge either one of these guys. We're also told that they're going to do some testing with that team, and Medeiros is going to test for them tomorrow or the next day, so he may get a chance.
Well, as the public address system indicates, we're 1 minute away from the command to start the engines. The driver's secured in the cockpit, the umbrellas up. In some cases, protecting the driver from the heat. As we have alluded to, not nearly as hot, humid, and oppressive as it's been in years past. It's a little cooler today, but the real change is the humidity is much lower.
It is, and it is a little bit lower, but this racetrack has been just awful the last 2 or 3 years. So hot. So they did move the starting time up some, so it'll be a little bit cooler. So it'll be interesting to see. The aerodynamics will be affected some.
Adrian Fernandez also making his first start at this racetrack, the Quaker State Telmex Ducati car. Adrian Fernandez, the veteran from Mexico City, starting back in the 11th starting position. And this really is, even for a veteran driver, has been a learning curve for him. This is his first season in these particular cars.
Today's Grand Marshal, Wayne Lee. Drivers, start your engines.
Well, there is the command. And 7 Toyotas, 8 Hondas, and 6 Chevrolet power plants jump to life. 3-liter power plants. And this is, Larry, a real tough part of the season as we take a look at some of our on-board shots. It's a tough part of the season for the drivers, for the teams, because there's one stretch where we have 3 races back to back to back, another stretch 3 races back to back to back, and it's a tough haul for these crews.
Well, this is the toughest part of the season. You're right. I think they have 8 races in 10 weeks here, so it's a very, very hard. They have to go home. They have to prepare for the next race. They've got crews back there working on the engines all the time. It's very, very difficult. But this is when you win or lose a championship, right here in the heart of the season, when you've got all these races right in a row.
I'd also tell you that Vito Mira, who will start in the 3rd position today, has secured the sponsorship for the balance of the season, so he should have that ride with the Ray Hall Letterman for the rest of the year, as we now hear from the drivers, the starting lineup in their own words.
Buddy Rice, car number 15.
Tony Kanaan, car number 11.
Vitor Meira, car number 17.
Sam Hornish Jr., car number 6.
Thomas Schechter, car number 4.
Hélio Castro Neves, car number 3.
Townsend Bell, car number 2. Kosuke Matsuura, car number 55.
Dario Franchitti, car number 27.
Brian Herta, number 7.
Adrian Fernandez, car number 5. Alex Barron, car number 51.
Dan Weldon, car number 26.
Felipe Giafone, car number 24.
AJ Foyt IV, car number 14. Scott Dixon, car number 1.
Ed Carpenter, car number 52.
Scott Sharp, car number 8.
Darren Manning, car number 10.
Jeff Simmons,
car number 12.
As you ride along with the pole position driver, that is Buddy Rice for Ray Hall Letterman, his 3rd pole position of the year. As you take a look at the race analysis.
200 laps, 483 kilometers. Of course, Buddy Rice is on the pole. Last year, Brian Herta won. The pit window is going to be, again, strategy plays a part. 48 to 55 laps. I think most of these guys will go about 53 to 55 laps before they have to make a pit stop.
Once again, a number of onboard cameras to give you all kinds of great shots as the race will get underway and continue here through the afternoon. There's a look at Scott Dixon.
Yeah, Scott Dixon did not have as good a qualifying time. I'm sure he's a little frustrated right now. He's used to starting up front, winning races, leading races. He's not had a good time this year.
Townsend Bell, a good qualifying effort for his first effort in this car, starting back in the 7th position.
Yeah, he did a great job.
In the back of Thomas Schechter's Chevrolet powered number 4. He'll be starting in the 5th position. As they start to take formation side by side, we should come down for the green. As you take a look once again at this racetrack.
Yeah, it's 1.5 mile oval. Front straightaway, of course, longer than the back straightaway by virtue of it being curved. And it's the banking again. Front straightaway is 10.4 degrees. The turns are 15 degrees, and that 15-degree banking is what helps hold these cars so that they can run side by side.
Johnny Rutherford takes the pace car off, turns the field over to the number 15 of Buddy Rice. So far this season, Tony Kanaan has led 364 laps in 3 races. Dan Weldon has led 296 in 5, and Buddy Rice has led 147 laps in 3 different races. Right behind Buddy Rice is the number 17 of Vito Mira, who just secured that ride for the rest of the...
Oh, we got a crash back in the back
already. Before the green flag comes out, Scott Sharp is involved. And was that Takagi?
I believe.
As you're riding along with Scott Sharp already out of the race, then the green never came out.
Wow, what a tough break for Scott Sharp. Probably got on the gas too hard, lost the back end. He went up the racetrack right in front of, I believe it was Takagi. I didn't get a good look at him. Franchitti, yeah, there's Takagi. He's going around the racetrack. He was the other car involved in that. So 2 of the guys who started near the back of the pack. It looked like Scott Sharp just lost it and headed it right straight towards the wall, and Takagi had nowhere to go. Barely tapped him, but enough that he's going to have to come in and make some changes. So we'll get a restart, but meanwhile we're going to have to get these at least this crashed car off of the racetrack. Let's see.
Watch again. Now Foyt's moving up. Foyt slows.
Yep, he was just on the throttle. He moved down a little bit, and the wheel spun, and he moved up there. Oh, Takagi hit him a lot harder than I thought he did. He's going to have to replace the nose on that car, and he may be out. Now watch him. He's on the throttle real hard. He makes a slight move to the inside. And when he shifted gears, moved down, and those two things happening exactly the same time on cold tires, not something you would expect from a veteran, but it does happen once in a while.
Keep in mind, he had the pole position at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway a couple of years ago and crashed on the opening lap.
Very first lap, exactly right. Toru Takagi's in trouble. You can see that right front is clear off of the ground, so he hit him pretty hard, and he's probably going to be out of this race.
It had been speculated that this would be the final season for Kelly Racing, but it was announced this week out of Indianapolis that they have sponsorship secured for next season. So
yeah, Kelly Racing will be around again next year. There you can see Scott Sharp.
There's his wife Kim
explaining what's going on. They're going to look at Takagi's car, but
I don't know. Punch is down the pit area with Scott Sharp, so hopefully we can hear from Scott momentarily and get from his vantage point what happened.
Yeah, whatever happened. It looked like when he shifted gears and turned down a little bit on the racetrack at the same time, the tires broke loose. When they broke loose, he just spun nose first towards the wall. Takagi had absolutely no place to go. Takagi's out of the car, so that's looking like they're probably not going to go back out either.
Everyone just stacked up on each other. It's a real shame for the Delphi team. We're looking forward to a top 10 result today.
A tough and very frustrated beginning for Scott Sharp. They're going to try to talk it over, maybe try to get this car repaired and get the Delphi machine back out, but heavy damage here on the drop of the green flag.
And look at this, Dario Franchitti is in.
Well, this is a strategy stop. Dario Franchitti had to go to the back of the pack because they changed engines. I believe that was the reason they put him back there. Anyway, he had to start dead last, so he's already in last place on the restart. So he's decided to come in, get that extra little bit of fuel so that he might gain a lot of track position under the right circumstances and yellow flag. So very strategic move on his part, and I think it's a very smart move.
This is was to be the 89th consecutive start for Scott Sharp, the most of anybody. But he never made it past the start-finish line.
Well, but I think it will count as a start the green flag had dropped. They had thrown the green flag.
He qualified, was in the starting lineup.
Yes, exactly. So it will be counted as a start for him.
Also, Dario Franchitti will restart the back of the pack, and on this restart you'll have Rice, Kanaan, Mira, just as they were lined up to start the race initially. You know, we have seen this in the past, Larry. I can recall a number of years ago when Roberto Guerrero had set the track record in qualifying at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Went down the backstretch and lit up the turbocharger, and the car slid out from under him, and he crashed to the inside guardrail on the pace lap.
Well, it's not an unusual thing, but what really kind of surprises you here is it's not that cold here. It usually happens on a very cold day, and it usually happens to guys who are not used to running these type cars. But Scott Sharp's been doing this a long time. It's not a mistake that he should have made, but he said everything started stacking up in front of him. Well, he moved down the racetrack a little bit, but it really appeared to me to be more the fact that he was on the throttle, shifted gears, and turned down all at the same time.
Well, they are running in single file order. These laps will count. They have completed 3 laps, working on 4. So Buddy Rice continues to pick up laps led in that category. And there you can see the damage to Takagi's number 12 as they'll take that back to the garage area and perhaps try to fix the front and get him back out. But he'll be many, many laps down. We could have the green flag out the next time by. Very little debris on the racetrack from this crash.
Yeah, they're just going to move him back and leave him sit there.
I think that's going to be it. There's an onboard shot from Schechter, who will start this race back in the 5th position.
We see a couple more guys.
Oh, yeah, we see 2 more guys coming back in. Darren Manning for 1, the number 20 of Jeff Simmons, so topping off the fuel, a pit strategy early on. We remain under yellow, the first yellow of the afternoon because of an accident as the green flag was unfurled. You see the 2 drivers leaving the pit area, Darren Manning and the target number 10, the number 20 of Simmons. And there's back up at the front of the pack. There is the number 15 of Rice, the number 11 of Kanaan, with 2 wins so far this season, 5 top 5s. He's led 364 laps.
Those late pit stops realistically are only going to gain those guys about 2 laps maybe at the most, but still it's worth a chance. It's those guys are running in the last 3 positions, Franchitti,
but if they
Simmons.
stayed out and the leaders came in and the yellow then came out, they'd pick up track position. And
yeah, still it's a good strategic move, no question about it.
They had nothing to
lose.
They may not gain anything, but they had nothing to lose.
Exactly. And the yellow flag is staying out this time by. We were expecting the green to come out, but it did not come out this time by. 1 lap
right again with Thomas Scheckter, and right in front of him is Vito Mira, number 17. So it's Rice, Kanaan, Mira for this restart. Then Hornish, Scheckter, Castro-Neves, Bell, Matsura, Fernandez, Herta. There's a look at the season so far for Thomas Scheckter.
Not exactly what he had hoped for when he came to Panther Racing. They'd always been a very consistent, very fast team. Had some trouble, but you know, he's been fast, but he's got to finish the races without getting into trouble.
His only victory came 2 seasons ago at Michigan when he was driving for Eddie Cheever, and that was actually in a third car that was actually wrenched that weekend by Greg Beck Motorsports, and he won from the pole position. Now finally, we're going to go racing. As they unfurl the green flag, and here they come. Mira goes to work right away on the high side.
We've already
3 wide back in the pack.
Yeah, somebody back there didn't get a very good start. Somebody else almost got tagged back there. As either they did on. It could have been. I don't know, but somebody didn't.
going to lead this lap.
Yeah, he got a great start, but boy, that back there in the back, somebody just did not get a good start, in the wrong gear probably.
Wow, look at Kanaan pull away from the 15 of Rice and the 17 of Vito Mira.
Mira looked to the outside, looked like he is going to do it again. He's going to get out there, see if he can get going. Buddy Rice, I don't know what's exactly going on there, but you wouldn't think those guys would be pulling to the outside and going around him quite that quickly.
So Vito Mira, who was moved up a position last week on that last lap snafu, is back up to 2nd position by a nose over Rice. A good side-by-side battle back there for 4th position.
Well, that's what we were talking about, side-by-side racing on this banking. Mira, although he looked to be quicker, once he got on the outside, just couldn't make that pass. And Scheckter has been on the outside there for quite a while on the outside of Hornish, just trying to get around him. But so far, remember, these 2 guys ran into each other in the last race, and there's not much love lost here. He's staying a good ways away this time. He doesn't want to be the...
I don't think you'll find those 2 guys having dinner together this evening in Kansas City.
No, there was a little hard feeling there, one towards the other, but Scheckter...
After Scheckter got Hornish 4 laps back, Hornish was up racing with the leaders and actually got his hand slapped this week by Brian Barnhart for not getting out of the way because he's 4 laps off the pace.
That's right. He was warned that he should not be racing that hard because he was 4 laps down. Hornish did not heed the warnings, and so he had a little talk with him after the racing and told him that, you know, if you're 4 laps down, you got to get out of the way. You got to let those guys race for the win, and we'll see what happens.
And did you notice that now Rice is starting to close in on Kanaan as we watch Townsend Bell back there in the number 2 car, and look at this.
Well,
here's a look at Dan Weldon. Weldon is up to 11th position, did not qualify all that well yesterday.
Well, we had a very good start there initially. We're going to take a look at it and see what happens. See,
look at Weldon.
He's down on the inside. Look at that. Clear under the white. Oh, he almost spun that baby. Down on the inside. He got on that white line. There's also a change in banking down there. And man, oh man, very, very risky.
He was warned on his radio by Brian Barnhart about that start.
Well,
here he comes on the high side of Townsend Bell.
He was warned not to get below the white line. And as you can see, once you touch that white line with your left side tires, it's very slick. That paint is extremely slick. And he got down in there, and he not only got on the white line, he got clear under. Down there, there's a change in banking, and that's why he got so far sideways.
Masura going around Castro-Neves for the 6th position. Right now, Honda has the top 3 spots with Kanaan, Rice, and Mira. Scheckter with a Chevrolet is 4th. 5th is Hornish with the Toyota. Then Matsura with a Honda. Castro-Neves with the Toyota.
Yeah, it looks like Fernandez now, right?
Fernandez.
He's going to go after Castro-Neves. He looks. Oh, Castro-Neves started pushing the front end just as Fernandez looked to the outside. That's Dan Weldon right behind Fernandez. Fernandez in the green car, Weldon in the white car.
And Townsend Bell in the blue car.
Well, Townsend Bell has fallen back quite a ways from his starting position.
But again, Townsend has not tested this car. He's not had a test program with this team. He kind of jumped in cold this week. So right now, this is an R&D program for him.
Right. You can see that he hasn't fallen back near as much as some of the other guys. Frankitti's lost 4 spots too. So some of the guys moving backwards, others moving forward.
Up in front, it's a parade. A 4th of July parade. The top 4 running nose to tail. So what had been a big gap between first and second has closed down. Buddy Rice rides in second position. Mira is third. Now you're right along in fourth position with Thomas Schechter.
Oh, he pushes the front end up. He lost the front end, got out of the air, took the air off the front wing, moved up. He had to get out of the throttle a little bit. He might get past.
Here comes Hornish right behind him.
Yep. Hornish making a move on him right there. As you can see, he was right behind him. Now he's back 6 or 7 car lengths.
When he pushed the front end, he lost the momentum, and Hornish was coming, but tucks in behind him now as they scramble for position heading into the corner in the 15-degree banking.
You see Vitor Mira, he's not running right behind Buddy Rice. He's running about a half car width up. That's so that he can keep the air on those front wings.
Let's look at Bobby Ray Hall and A.J. Foyt talking to their drivers from the pit lane.
The Saturday premiere, sponsored by Vanilla Coke.
Always on the run? Well, you can Catch Me If You Can when you choose. By tuning to Sky Movies 3 and pressing the red button, you can select from 8 different start times, one every 15 minutes, all in one night. Catch Me If You Can, multi-start. Premieres Saturday at 8 on Sky Movies 1, and then every 15 minutes via the red button on Sky Movies 3.
Hello, Direct Line Home Insurance.
Hi, my water pipe's just burst. The carpet's ruined.
Morning, sir. Gentlemen, we've had a report in of some serious water damage. Activate usual procedures, sir. Absolutely. Cover the cost of repair and any damaged goods. Replace them. And deliver them to the door, sir.
Dash good thinking.
Okay, what we'll do is...
Call or buy online and you could save up to 40%.
Like a sheep that's lost from the flock of love. I've lost you. Yes, I have. Like an ice cold hand without a glove. I'm so blue. Yes, I am. Now that I'm here without you.
The new KFC Mini Fillet Burger, just 99p.
What do I wish for on a cloud?
Kanan continuing to lead Rice, Mira, Schechter, Hornish, and Matsuura as we've been watching that group back there in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. That is Matsuura to the left of your screen. In the blue and red car, the Marlboro car, is Castro Nevitz. And there is Adrian Fernandez, who is currently in 8th position after starting back in 11th. And again, this is the first time for him to be here. He is the oldest driver in the starting field with the retirement of Al Unser at the age of 42. Yeah. That's not exactly the accolade that you want as a race driver, is it?
No, it isn't. But he's he's quite well known in his home country, Mexico. He's very well respected for his driving ability and for his business endeavors down there too.
There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk that next season there could be a race or two in Mexico.
Well, that's what they're saying. It might be. And you saw Castroneves right there. Looked like he got a little bit loose coming off that corner. I think his car is very, very loose. It's the reason he's fallen back just a little bit. He's back in 7th spot now. But you can see he's running high on the racetrack because if he runs up there, he still gets some air on the car. If he runs right behind Matsuura, then he gets no air on those front wings and doesn't keep the car glued to the racetrack quite as well. Right there, he looked like he was a little loose again as that thing wiggled a little bit just coming off the corner.
Well, you ride off the rear wing of the second position car of Rice, looking back at the number 17 of Vito Mira, back to the number 4 of Schechter, and behind Schechter is Sam Hornish in the number 6 Marlboro Penske entry.
The aerodynamics on these cars, again, they have 400 pounds less downforce now than they've ever had. They don't drive. They're not really as nice to drive as far as the driver's concerned. They're much twitchier. They want to slide around a lot more. That's the reason you see these guys, they don't follow each other right in the corner. You can see Mira's up, Schechter's down. They try to find a place in there where they can still get some air across those wings.
To plant that front.
Plant the front end, to get the downforce on the cars, help stabilize the cars.
Coming into this race, Tony Kanaan had led 364 laps from 3 races. This is his 4th race to lead, and he took the lead on lap 7 from Buddy Rice.
Yeah, see, Buddy Rice caught him going down the straightaway. Couldn't get outside of him, so he had to fall back a little bit. Mira doing the same thing. He's right on their tail, but can't find a way or a place to try to get around it. Oh, look at Schechter again, running pretty high off that corner.
Schechter back in 4th position.
Yeah, he's
hitting the rev limiter there.
Yeah.
Back up in front, and a car length or so between 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, Buddy Rice tried. He moved to the outside, going down the front straightaway, but just didn't have the oomph to get on by him.
On board with Townsend Bell, back in 10th position. Look at the speed and the throttle.
You can see him shifting gears. These engines, since they're smaller, they do have to shift gears. That circle down there, that was for the lateral G's. You can see that going through these corners, up to 3.9
almost
G's, and almost 4 G's in the corners. So they are pulling some lateral G's, and your neck gets pretty tired after a couple hours of that, let me tell you.
And on that shot, you saw the entire field now has bunched up, running single file, but at one point there was a gap between 5th and 6th. That is not the case now. And now there's about 2 seconds separating the top 10 on the racetrack after 29 circuits. Tony Kanaan, Buddy Rice, Vito Mira, Thomas Schechter, and Sam Hornish, but they're all closed up behind them. So we have us a parade here, nose to tail, just what we'd anticipated. Finally, it looks like Weldon has gotten around Fernandez, so Weldon moves to 8th.
He's been trying to make that move now for the last probably the last 15 laps.
And look at him closing him at Matsura.
Wow, once he kind of found that spot out there, looks like he's found
his sweet spot out there.
He must have found another gear in that baby, because all of a sudden he's seems to be going a lot faster than he had been for the last 10 laps or so. Man, he really got a boost when he went around.
Well, that last lap, Thomas Schechter was the fastest driver on the racetrack, back there in 4th position. Now Weldon caught Matsura, but now having trouble getting by on the high side. They're running side by side.
Yeah, you get that little bit of a draft when you're running behind him now, then you don't get it. But he goes on by going down that back straightaway.
So he has picked up 2 positions in about 3 laps and set sail for Castro-Nevitz now. And Elio is in 6th position. And there goes Fernandez.
Yeah, Matsura, obviously the handling going away on that car, because he's slowed down quite a bit. These cars are running about 206, 207 miles an hour. Last year they ran 218 miles an hour.
Well, let's see what Weldon can do now with Castro-Nevitz as he pulled up behind him for that battle for 6th position. Live coverage from Kansas. With Kanaan, Schechter has gone to 2nd position. As we told you a couple laps ago, he was the fastest driver on the racetrack, and now he is up to 2nd as he's gotten around Rice and Mira. So Rice drops to 3rd, Mira drops to 4th, 5th is Hornish, 6th is Weldon.
Wow, see, sometimes it just takes for the guy in front of you to make a slight mistake, and it looks like Buddy Rice must have got it just a little loose or did something, had to climb out of the throttle, and when he did, he let Schechter get around.
Here comes Mira on the high side. Good battle for 2nd to make that 3rd position.
Now Mira's moved out there, but can't pull it off.
Look at Weldon. Weldon just went around Hornish.
Wow, all of a sudden, I don't know what's happened here in the last 3 laps.
He turned the wick up, didn't he?
Yeah, he turned the wick up and passed 3 cars in 3 laps. And he just moved right up the racetrack and where nobody else was running. And it looks like you know, it looks like all of a sudden an extra 20 horsepower, but we know there's no turbochargers on these things, so they can't do that.
Well, he's found a groove that he likes and some fresh air that the car likes. Well, Scheckter right now trying to be the third leader of the afternoon. Rice led the first 6 circuits, then Kanaan took over on lap 7, and now they're working on lap 37.
Yeah, and once again, you notice as they go through the corner, they're kind of staggered. They're not one right behind the other. One on the bottom, one on the top, one on the bottom, one on the top. Now then, we'll see if Buddy Rice can get around Scheckter on the bottom.
Well, Buddy stays down low, but cannot make the pass as they come off the corner down the back straightaway. That 5-degree banking on the back straightaway into 15-degree banking in the corners.
Well, the 15-degree banking, of course, not nearly as much as Texas, but a lot more than a place like Milwaukee or the Indianapolis 500. But the banking does help secure these cars. It makes it possible to go around on the outside. Look at Scheckter. He's got a good run.
Scheckter tries a high side as we get a glimpse of Dr. Jerry Punch. There's Matsura again, and there's Herta.
Yeah.
And there's Dixon. So Scott Dixon not having the kind of season he thought he would have as the reigning IRL champion. In fact, he's only led 3 laps so far this season. We talked last year the dominance of the Target Ganassi team with Scheckter and Scott Dixon, how many laps they led. Not so this year for Scott.
The engineers at Chevrolet have to be really excited to see that Chevrolet up there on the outside of that Honda doing battle right now. They've struggled. They've taken their licks the last couple of years, but right now that Chevrolet power plant looks to be every bit as strong as the Hondas. Thomas Scheckter is giving them one heck of a ride.
Well, they're stacked up 2 by 2. Look at that in formation just as they started this race.
You notice he tucked right in under behind him there just for a second to try to get that little bit of an arrow draft to help pull him by. Still can't do it though. Now then he's going to try to go back behind him on the straightaway. Then he'll pull back on the outside going into the corner.
But he has Rice right behind him. Mira is right behind Rice. You see how they stack up there? They're not totally nose to tail.
Now Rice right now looks like he might have the advantage. No, maybe not. Yeah, he does. He's pulled up the side of him now. So whatever advantage Scheckter had, he just lost as Rice went on around.
Last lap, Adrian Fernandez was about 1.5 miles faster than anybody else.
And
look at Dan Weld. Look at started 13th, finished 5th, or is running in 5th. Now last week he started way at the back of the pack.
Yeah,
when he won it.
Yeah, he started way in the back last time. Look at Scheckter. He gets. It seems to be that he can get behind him going down the straightaway, kind of slingshot to the outside going into the corner and gets a good run through 1 and 2, but he cannot maintain it through 3 and 4. He loses
around him.
Yeah, he can't get around him. He can get side of him in 1 and 2, runs down there, but in 3 and 4 he loses everything he gained.
So after battling for the top spot, he loses second to Buddy Rice. Now he's battling back for that position with Mira back in 4th. Last week it was when Weldon won, he started back in 20th position and won the race.
And you can hear Buddy Rice shifting gears there. With these smaller engines, they do have to do a lot more shifting. Used to be just 1 gear.
And look at Weldon.
Wow, he's on the outside. He's unbelievably quick right now.
Last year's Bombardier Rookie of the Year, showing his strength so far this season with 2 wins in the Honda-powered car for the Andretti Green team. Now you're right along with Thomas Scheckter back in 3rd position. Mira directly behind him being challenged for that position by Dan Weldon. And look, they work that steering wheel.
I think I'm a little surprised that Sam Harnish isn't a little
racier.
A little racier up there today, because I figured coming off of that Richmond thing, he was going to be mad enough to go up there and just kind of bull his way through. But maybe not.
Strategy.
Maybe the strategy, maybe the patience. You know, nothing pays off until the last lap, and so maybe that's what he's thinking.
Maybe Vito Mira. Vito lost some races last year with a broken wrist. As soon as he got the cast off, he got back in a cart and started working back into a racing condition.
He's been strong all day long. Remember, he's teammates with Buddy Rice, so both those cars should be fairly similar.
Finished second a week ago at Richmond. Rahal has secured this ride for the rest of the season, and still we have some anticipation of the return of Kenny Breck. So we'll see a 3-car stable for the Rahal Letterman team later this year.
Right, Kenny Breck, when he feels physically ready to come back, I think he'll at least give it a shot. We'll see. Right now,
his damaged legs will let him run, but he wears out.
Yeah, very tired. He tested a couple of times. He tested at Richmond, I know, and he was just
very fast too.
Yeah, he was fast. He was fast enough to be in the top 5 in qualifying, but he was physically he just couldn't do it.
There's Brian Herta, currently 8th in the racetrack. Won here a year ago as a sub-driver for the injured Dario Franchitti, and did such a good job for Andretti Green that they gave him a full-time ride.
Yeah.
Here's Mir on the inside of Scheckter, and he takes that position. They almost got together.
Yeah, he came up the racetrack a little farther than Scheckter was anticipating. They almost touched wheels.
So Kanaan leads Rice and Scheckter with 48 of 200 laps completed.
America's finest, battling out. In association with Sky Bet, the Copa America starts Tuesday, 11 p.m. Sky Sports 1.
New Renault Scenic.
It's the year's funniest and most exciting family film. A super spectacle, 9 out of 10. Jackie Chan, Steve Coogan, around the world in 80 days.
Makes me wish I was a blue whale. Why? Because the blue whale's got the biggest tongue in the whole world. Taste buds like basketballs. Over here, you got your sweet taste buds. Here, your bitter taste buds. Strongbow, unlike most other drinks, gets them both very excited. Cheers.
Bitter, sweet, Strongbow. It's what your taste buds would order.
The new 7-seater Grand Scenic. Same animal, only bigger.
It's round 7 of the Indy Racing League from Kansas. While you were away, Townsend Bell there made an unscheduled pit stop. It's dropped him back to 19th. Okay, let's rejoin the commentary live now.
Manning's been in. He's had some trouble, though. Uh-oh, the fuel.
They pulled over the big tank as well.
They did not get the fuel done. They waved him on, and the fuel got stuck. The hose got stuck.
Now, crew members are jumping over the wall. They're only allowed so many crew members.
Yeah, but I think right now they're just worried about that fuel spilling. Luckily, it did not spill out of there. And luckily, that fueler did not get run over. His right arm was very close to that left rear wheel. And luckily, Dan Weldon, they motioned for him to stop just in time. And he got that thing stopped. And they're having a look.
Trying to upright that fuel rig.
Yeah, it's full of fuel, remember. This is the first pit stop, so there's still lots and lots of fuel in that thing. As everybody else, there's Vito Mira coming in for a pit stop.
And there's Castro Nevitz.
See, the driver relies on that guy on the right front corner. When he says go, they take off. And the driver in the right front corner, he looks for the fueler to jerk on the hose. As soon as he jerks, he motions for him to go. What happened there was he jerked and it didn't come out. We're going to see a replay here in a few minutes probably, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. The right front, the guy who changes the right front tire, he's the guy responsible for sending the driver out of the pit area. See, now watch him jerk. See, when he jerks, as soon as he jerks, they start motioning him to go. And if it gets stuck and he has to jerk twice, that's the result.
Well, Kanaan came in, which gave the lead to this driver here, Rice. Now Rice will relinquish the lead. He led for 1 lap.
Well, green flag pit stops are it's very, very important. You've got to get in, you've got to get out quickly because, you know, 1 second in here can be, you know, 100 yards
yards
on the racetrack can be a huge amount. Herta beat Rice out.
Herta just beat him out.
So that means that Brian Herta's team was quicker than Buddy Rice's team in the pit area that time. So Brian Herta, Team Green, once again, having a great stop and got his guys back out. Here comes Vito Mir. These guys are trying to blend in.
There's Darren Manning.
So everybody's just about, we've only got 1 or 2 cars. Franchitti, remember, he made a late stop, so he's still on the racetrack.
We're showing Kanaan back in the lead.
In-car camera. Uh-oh, something's wrong. They killed the engine. Couldn't get the engine. They had to bring it out and refire it to get it going again. We had that shot from on board. So,
well, just a few moments ago, Larry, it was very scary. Here is a replay of the Weldon incident. Now what?
Oh no, that was the right front. That was the guy on the right front. That was his fault. That was not Dan Weldon's fault. He never looked up. He adjusted the wing and told him to go, and the fuelers were not done. The guy on the right front made a huge mistake right there because that he didn't even look back. He adjusted the wing, assumed that they were done fueling, and told him to go, and they weren't ready. They didn't even try to pull that fuel line out.
Well, Weldon now finds himself back in 13th position on the race course, and of course he began this race in 13th and worked his way up to the top 5, so he has a long way to go. A lot of work this afternoon now.
Well, it's not only that he's in 13th position, but he's like 13 seconds back, so he's a half a lap behind everybody else. That's the real big disadvantage. Watch this guy on the right front. He adjusts the wing and he says go. He never even looked up. Those guys they weren't finished yet. There was no way that was anybody's fault but the guy on the right front corner.
He made the motion.
He made the motion without even looking. That was a huge mistake on his part.
You know, so often, Larry, and I think people think that we overstate the fact that you can win or lose a race in the pit area.
Well,
this race could have been lost right there.
Exactly. And it could have resulted in much worse. If that fuel had spilled out of that tank and there had been a fire.
Or he had driven over.
Yeah, or he had driven over that the left rear, or the fuel man's arm, broken his arm. It could have been much worse. Look at this.
There's a battle up in front. This is for the lead on lap 64.
Vito Mira's looking extremely strong. You can see why Ray Hall Letterman has signed this guy to a contract for the rest of the year.
Looking to lead.
Now these guys are pretty much flat out here. They're shifting gears, but they're flat out. They're not lifting going into the corners. And it's just a matter of centrifugal force. Mira trying to stay as close as he can to him, make that track as short as he can to get that little bit of a run that'll give him an advantage.
Well, Mira trying to lead for the first time this season. He was given credit for leading that lap. That was lap 65.
Well, he did it. He's done a nice job. He's hanging right in there. Now that he might actually go ahead and make the pass this time if he's got any kind of a run off that corner at all. It's shorter around on the inside, but you don't have to bind the car up. You should get more RPMs and a little bit more speed on the outside. That's
keep your momentum up.
Well, keep your momentum up more because you have to pinch the car, we call it. You have to turn the car down coming off the corner, which cuts the RPMs very slightly. But you can see right there, he ran up there for 2 laps, just couldn't do it, and Kanaan goes ahead and pulls away.
Kanaan will take the lead now in lap 67.
We talked about
working on those 3 bonus points for leading the most laps.
And we talked about Herta having that great stop. It vaulted him up into 3rd place in front of Rice and Scheckter both. So that was a great pit stop as Scheckter once again battling with Rice.
We're looking for Fernandez up to 6th position there in that green and white car.
Yeah, he too had a great pit stop that helped him a lot. Castroneves and Hornish now back in 7th and 8th spots. So,
well, see, Fernandez really had the disadvantage, Larry, in not having a chance to test preseason with this car before he jumped over to run with the Indy Racing League.
Yeah, but
and so he's learning really on-the-job training for the veteran.
Well, that's exactly right. Vito Mira still stalking him. It looks like he's a little quicker on the bottom groove, but once he moves up to that top groove, he just cannot quite.
Well, it's one thing to catch him in the low groove, but you got to go someplace else to pass
That's right.
him.
That's exactly the whole point. Exactly the whole point.
Well, there's Schechter now riding in 5th position.
Well, Schechter has had a good race so far.
Well, Tony Kanaan continues to lead Mira, Herta, Rice, and Schechter with 68 of 200 scheduled laps completed here in Kansas. We've had 3 different leaders today. Rice led the first 6 laps, then Kanaan took over. Vito Mira had 2 laps that he led, 65 and 66, before Kanaan got back around. So 3 bonus points going to the leader of the most laps, and you have the 2 Penske cars running together on the racetrack in 7th and 8th. Castroneves, Hornish. Hornish, as you said earlier, not the factor we thought he might be this afternoon.
No, the highest running Toyota right now is Castroneves. He and Hornish running in 7th and 8th spots. So I think the Toyotas have some issues with the horsepower still, that they're not running as good as they had hoped they would at this point.
Well, they have a Honda right behind him with Franchitti.
Remember, Franchitti started dead last. He stayed out, made his pit stop a little later.
Shot from Franchitti's onboard. Actually, it's inside the helmet.
Yeah, and you can get a good idea of what it looks like from his perspective right there. And you know, you see those guys. What do you do right there when they got them side by side? Which guy do you choose to follow? That's his choice, and he stayed to the bottom of the racetrack.
It depends on where your car works the best.
Exactly.
Now he ducks to the inside. He's going to make a pass.
Wow.
Made that look easy.
Sure
Went by
did.
Hornish for position.
Not sure what happened to Hornish, but
the
man.
8th position. Now he takes a look at the inside of Castroneves. A good battle for position with our live coverage, and that is Franchitti, who has just gotten around both the Penske cars. And Franchitti has now moved to 7th spot in that blue and white number 27, and now Hornish looks to the inside of his teammate.
Wow. Andretti Green just between them
Those
and Letterman.
Hondas just went on by.
The Honda's really looking strong here as we take a look from the inside Dario Franchitti's helmet. And you can see what he can see. You can see it's a little dirty. You got a few little smudges on there from bugs or moisture or oil or something from some of the other cars. So that's one of the things the driver has to put up with. It's not like you might think. It does get a little bad.
Light. Is this light part of the RPMs here?
Yeah, they're getting
the RPMs go up. You see the red lights come on.
Right. Telling him he's getting close to the rev limiter.
But he went by both those Penske cars. And then Matsura back there in the 10th position.
There goes Mira. And here comes Mira now as he made the pass on Tony Kanaan. We were watching that battle farther back in the field. That time he got to the outside of Kanaan. Kanaan had lifted just slightly coming off the corner, and Mira just went on by him. And now that he's passed him, he's pulled out to quite a good lead, actually.
Jeff Simmons about to be lapped. He's back in the 16th position as Mira goes on by. The second time he has led this evening. Or we should say this afternoon. We're so used to those night races. Now we're back in the afternoon. Well, the race actually started a couple of hours earlier this year because of all the heat and humidity that we've suffered through the last couple of years here.
Wow, Vito Mira is just he's just walking away now that he's gotten out in the lead. He's got 0.6 of a second lead over Kanaan right now, so he's really turned up the wick. He's really running well right now.
First time he has led this season.
From Brazil, one of the many Brazilian drivers. And if you remember, he ran for John Menard for a few races last year, got the call. Everybody was kind of surprised. Not very many people in the IRL had heard from him, but proved right away that he was a pretty strong contender.
Well, it was just a week ago he finished second. Actually, at the finish he was third, but then recounting what had happened the last couple of laps, he was moved back up to second position. So his best finish was just a week ago, and right now he leads. First race he has led in his 3-season IRL career.
Right, and until a week ago, he was just on a race-to-race basis. They had not hired him. They secured the sponsorship for the rest of the year, and when they did that, for Centrex sponsorship. Then they went ahead and signed him for a contract for the rest of the year.
Larry, his last lap was faster than he qualified.
Wow. Well,
how often do you see that?
He is very happy with that race car.
On lap 80, he's running faster than he qualified yesterday.
Wow. Well,
way up. In fact, 2 miles an hour faster than he qualified yesterday.
Well, a lot of what happens during these races is getting the right tire adjustments and the right handling adjustments all at the same time. He's coming up on young A.J. Foyt. And while he's lapping A.J. Foyt, I know that doesn't look very good, but that young man's done a heck of a job the last couple of races. We kind of bad-mouthed him a little bit last year, said he wasn't ready, but finally I think he's gotten to the point in this race car where he feels comfortable, and they're getting the car to run better for him, and he's run pretty good the last couple of times out.
I don't think we questioned him. I think we questioned A.J. his granddad for putting him in, not thinking he was.
Well, that's what I mean. Not
showing great progress over the past few races.
Yeah, he just wasn't ready. Not that he wasn't a good race car driver, just wasn't ready to progress to this level of the sport at the age he was at. Now you see Fernandez started 5th now, or started 11th, now up to 5th, and he's been pretty strong. He hasn't been spectacular. He hasn't been blowing people away left and right, but he has been very steady all race long.
But that is characteristic of his driving style. I mean,
yes.
Adrian has never, ever been spectacular. He's been very, very consistent.
Never been flashy, and you know, one of the things about winning races is you don't have to be flashy. You have to be around and at the right place at the right time.
Scheckter back in 4th position. Looking back at Fernandez, the gap from 4th to 5th, almost a complete turn as he goes by Giafoni in the Purex number 24 car. That's a car that's owned in part by Robbie Buell, who stepped out of this ride before Indy, and we speculated it was because of the handling characteristic, not as easy to drive as they were last year.
Yeah,
he says he's not retired, though. He's just retired from IndyCar driving.
Right,
he's going to do some sports car racing.
Right, he still wants to do some sports car racing, but the IndyCar stuff, he's going to live to Giafoni.
Once again, you look at Fernandez now start to close in as he goes by Giafoni on the inside. Boy, he's closed down that gap on Scheckter.
Yes, he has.
They have a battle for 4th position building up here as they go by the number 20 of Jeff Simmons.
And Jeff Simmons, another young guy. It's never only race he's run in the IRL was the Indianapolis 500. So far, he's run pretty well here, kept himself out of trouble, and that's the main thing. That's what he wants to do: get some laps, get the feel of these cars on these kinds of racetracks, and
but you have to wonder, Larry, if a veteran like Al Sr. or Al Jr. could not get that car to perform. It's a tough assignment for a rookie.
Well, it is a tough assignment. It's going to take them a few races to get the race car the way he likes it. You know, he's not going to come in there and just go out and start winning races right away. But I think at Indianapolis, the way he ran, the cars that he passed, I think he proved that he can be competitive in this arena.
Looks like Fernandez may have something for these boys up in front, because he closed down that big gap. It was a full turn from the position of now. Trying to find a way to get around the number 4 Pennzoil car.
Dan Weldon has moved up to 11th after all that big brouhaha in the pit area. He has not moved back through the field quite as quickly as he did the first time, but he has moved. Fernandez got pretty close to the back end of Scheckter right there.
Tries that high line through the corner up on the 15-degree banking as we're working on lap number 89. It's a 200-lap event.
Well, there's a hand motion right there. I'm not sure what that's all about, but Fernandez is...
not that Scheckter saw it.
No, I don't think Scheckter did see it, but he was motioning something at him. Probably not the friendliest of gestures. I know most race car drivers.
Would you like to have dinner later?
Yeah, it's not usually something you do when you're saying thanks a lot.
Yeah, when you're taking your hand off the steering wheel unless the race is over and you're waving at the winner.
Exactly. So whatever he was doing there was probably not.
We're still side by side on lap 90 of this 200-lap event, so we're nearing the halfway point.
Well, Scheckter just keeps hanging in there and making a tough one for Fernandez.
He has the short way around, but we talked about that a few laps back, that Fernandez can free his car up and keep the momentum up on the high side.
Well, Scheckter is the only non-Honda in the top 7 right now. He's running in 4th. Every other Ooh, right there, they got very close to each other.
This is an accident looking for a place to happen right here.
Yeah. Wow.
Now this is at 206 miles an hour.
Yeah, these guys running pretty close to each other. Fernandez actually giving him quite a bit of room right there.
And now he motioned for him to go on. He motioned for Fernandez to go on. Did you see that?
Yeah, he said, I've had enough of it. I think his car was loose. He moved up the racetrack a couple of times.
So a nice show of sportsmanship by Thomas Scheckter back there in 4th position.
It will be 9 nail-biting days of 9-ball pool, and only one competitor will become the best of the best. The Taiwan World Pool Championship, sponsored by Stan James, starts next Saturday, 10 a.m. Sky Sports 2.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. It's so perfect for a fly and a honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly, let's fly. Pack up, let's fly away.
Did you know that Direct Line could drive down what you're paying for your car insurance by up to 30%? Call or buy online.
I was thinking about the future of credit cards when...
Cosmic?
Halifax have just launched their futuristic One Card. It offers 0% for a whole 9 months on both balance transfers and new purchases.
Plus, you get cash back.
And with a spectacular 9.9% typical APR, the Halifax One credit card is out of this world.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to work that out.
But you do to fly this. Now, what happens if I press who gives you extra? We do.
When Ricardo hogs the microphone.
Like a virgin.
Woo! Julie vows to get her own back.
How many faggots do you want, love?
Faggots.
I'm serious.
I ain't gonna eat any, love. Ricardo and Julie battle it out in the Celebrity Penthouse tonight at 10, Sky One Sunday.
And Thomas will wait for the pit stop to make his adjustment. You go back to the front of the pack. Vito Mira has opened up a 3.5-second lead over Buddy Rice. Kanan has now fallen to 3rd position. So Kanan may be waiting for a pit stop to make some type of an adjustment to that chassis.
Yeah, I think he is. 13 cars still on the lead lap. Carpenter, Foyt, Simmons, Giafone, and Manning all 1 lap down.
And there's Foyt right in the middle of that mix.
Yeah, he's...
And Weldon back in. This will be somewhat unscheduled.
Well, he probably didn't get a full load of fuel. All that mix-up on the last pit stop, he's probably got to come in early. You can see the guy on the right front. He's going to make sure the fuel's out there this time. He's going to make sure the hose is out before he motions anybody to go, because he knows he screwed up the last time. That was a bad mistake on his part.
Now, Kanan has gotten back around Rice. At one time, the Letterman Rahal drivers were running 1-2. And there's a good battle back there for position. Now Rice has gotten back around Kanan.
Yeah, those guys been battling back and forth.
Foyt's up in that mix, but Foyt's a lap off the pace.
Well, that's part of the
white car.
Yeah, see, that's part of the problem right there. Because the lap traffic is in front of them.
Foyt and Carpenter riding side by side, and they're a lap off the pace.
Right.
They're battling for their own position, because that is 13th and 14th in the racetrack, but that's holding up the battle for second.
You can see that graphic a while ago that Vito Mira had 9 of the fastest 12 laps so far in this race.
Back on board with Scott Dixon. Dixon not having a very good ride here this afternoon, back in the 11th position. You look at the speed, you look at the percent of throttle, and the lateral G load. Now watch him load up in the corner.
Yeah.
Up to 3.9, 4.3.
Momentarily over 4, but yeah, it's about a 4.0 G-force, which means your body weight is 4 times natural gravity. So it's a very, very hard pull to the right as you're going through that corner.
You realize with all those guys battling behind those lap cars that Vito Mira has now opened up a 5.5-second lead over his teammate Buddy Rice.
Well, you know, that'll all be erased if there's another yellow. If not, then he's looking pretty good. Those guys, it does seem that Rice and Kanan are having a lot more trouble back there with the lap traffic. And that being because they caught the lap traffic when they were running side by side. And there's not much you can do. This racetrack is 2 cars wide, but it's not 3 cars wide.
There's a laps led. Kanan with 64 so far, and Mira with 31. But at the rate Mira's going, he'll. Well, here comes AJ for a routine pit stop.
Yeah, they're coming in a little earlier than we had thought. About 45 laps or so.
2 cars now right in front of us. Well, that's 1 car in front of second place. The pit stop should be coming up momentarily, Larry.
Yeah.
That is Weldon right in front of Rice.
Now he's just made his pit stop, so he's back on the racetrack.
Weldon's 2 laps off the pace.
Yeah, he's made his pit stop. He'll get one of those laps back, and maybe both of them.
Airline, the air hose coming off of AJ's car. He'll be coming back in.
Yeah.
This could be a stop and go penalty.
And once again, that's a miscommunications. They told him to go before they had everything disconnected. And sometimes stuff like that will happen, especially, you know, like I said earlier, if you jerk on that and the guy who's motioning for the car to leave, you know, he expects it to come off. He sees the motion. He expects that thing to come disconnected. When it doesn't become disconnected, then this is the result.
Well, now race control is saying that the 14 car will get a 10-second penalty.
Well, he'll have
plenty of time to take it off.
Yeah, he'll have plenty of time to take that thing off. They'll recheck the. And there's the air hose.
They're counting out the 10 seconds.
Yeah, you can see him.
He better jump out of the way, that official.
Now they're doing something. Oh, they're trying to clean out the air hose thing. It doesn't look like next time he'll be able to. There was a piece of the air hose still stuck on the connection. They were trying to get all of that off of there so that next time they came in, they could have a clean pit stop.
Well, Mira making a pit stop, and that will put Rice in the lead.
Well, let's see if they can do this. We've seen a couple of mistakes here in the pit area so far. Uh-oh, he killed the engine.
And there's Kanan in right behind him, and Kanan gets out. A costly stop for Mira.
Yep, that's not a good thing. He held up. What happened was they told him to hold. He thought they were going to go, and they stopped him because they weren't finished with the fuel. So he kind of double clutched it. Uh-oh.
Scheckter must be out of fuel.
Wow.
Scheckter has waited 1 lap too long. And this will take him out of contention for any good finish here this afternoon.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. As here comes Buddy Rice in the pit area.
And that will give the lead to Castor Nevitz. Hornish actually has the lead now. Hornish is being shown as our 4th different leader of the day. On lap 109, so over halfway now. Now let's see how smooth this pit stop is by Ray Hall Letterman.
It's going to be the team who pits and doesn't make a mistake. It's going to win this race. Well,
good stop.
Rice did his job right there. Mira might have caused himself problems by killing the engine. We've seen 2 or 3 miscues in the pit area. That was not one of them. That was almost perfect.
Well, here was a miscue on the racetrack by leaving him out 1 lap too many.
Well, we'll see.
They're trying to restart the engine. Maybe there's more of a problem than just.
That's what I'm wondering. If it is out of fuel for something else. They're telling him, you know.
Well, the activity continues here. The Pennzoil crew, and now he's away, or is he away? No. Scheckter killed it.
Well, they were telling him to pump the throttle. They were telling him, asking him if he was doing something because it wouldn't restart. Meanwhile, Scheckter.
Hornish comes in.
Scheckter gets back on the racetrack. That was a huge mistake. Another miscue, as you said, by the pit crew people. They have to tell him when to come in. There's no fuel gauges on these things. There's no way. There's a red light that'll come on some of them, but there's no way they know how much fuel's left. They completely rely on the pit crews to tell them when to come in and pit.
Well, and you see the field flash by the number 6 of Hornish, who led for a couple of laps on this cycling through in the pit work as Kanaan reassumes the top spot over Rice and Herta. So Herta has all of a sudden put himself up in third position with Franchitti back in fourth. Mira back in fifth position, but he's some 7 seconds behind the leader.
Come on! We don't want to miss a ball!
And another season 2020 count is underway.
Too loud for you. They're whacking it about a bit, aren't they? And stop whacking, running, catching.
That's because they've only got 20 overs.
We call it bling-bling cricket. Hi, Archie. Dad, that's Darren Goff. Back one. Life in the fast lane, Darren.
In association with Stan James, the 2020 Cup continues tomorrow, 5:30, Sky Sports 1.
Jono. Jono!
Oh, there you are. Come on.
The new Vauxhall Movano. Seriously big.
Like a sheep that's lost on the flock of love. I lost you. Yes, I have. Like an ice cold hand without a glove. I'm so blue. Yes, I am. Nothing on here without you.
The new KFC Mini Fillet Burger, just 99p.
What do I wish for on a cloud?
It's the year's funniest and most exciting family film. A super spectacle, 9 out of 10. Jackie Chan, Steve Coogan, Around the World in 80 Days.
Without this man, I would have died giving birth to my son.
Without this girl, my son would have died from serious burns.
When Mum got cancer, this woman gave her the time to see her granddaughter.
Do something amazing. Give blood.
We're on lap 117 of the scheduled 200 in Kansas this evening. We'll be back there in just a moment, but first of all, let's just take an opportunity to reflect on what's been happening so far. Paul, first of all, Weldon, he's been very much in the story, and not least with that incredible and potentially very, very dangerous incident in the pits.
Yes, absolutely. He was making very good progress, and to come in and have a pit stop, but that was a pit crew fault. The guy clearly waved him away when the fueling rig was still connected, and the fact that it didn't fall completely over, that could have been a monumental accident. Thank God it didn't.
Aside from that, he's still in the mix, albeit not right up with the leaders. You feel he's got a chance of picking up good points today?
He's running in 10th at the moment, a lap down. If there's another yellow, then maybe he can get his lap back, but certainly if he hangs around where he is, he's still going to get points.
Christopher, we talked about Weldon there, but there's been one or two mistakes, as the commentators are reminding us in the pits, isn't there?
Well, we haven't seen a race with so many pit miscues, as the commentators are calling them, for a long time. I mean, extraordinary, with the fight with the airline left on the back of the car, and that was a difficult one to get straight.
Sure.
People being flagged out when they shouldn't go, and so on. The point is, there's 200-mile-an-hour racing, and when you're doing the pit stops under green, the crews are really under pressure. Often in the IRL we get the pit stops under yellow, and then there's a little less pressure on everybody, but really they've made some terrible mistakes today.
It is shaping up nicely. Kanaan, the series leader, is leading as we speak. Let's rejoin the action now in Kansas. Lap 122.
A couple laps down, he's off the pace.
15th position, 2 laps off the pace.
As Kanaan has just put him another lap down, and here comes Buddy Rice.
You have to wonder what has happened to that Target Ganassi team this season.
They really,
I think it's just a mirror of itself from last year.
Yeah, the horsepower has something to do with it, but still, I mean, that's not all of it. They're still not running even close to as good as the Penske team.
Oh, look at this, 3 wide. Look at Hernandez. Oh, almost contact. Fernandez almost got the left front taken off.
Yeah, that's never going to work here at this racetrack. We've seen it happen a couple of times. We've seen Sam Hornish pull it off once, but 3 wide just does not happen very often in this kind of a racetrack. That's a lap car. I believe that's the car of Alex Barron right in front of him.
Here comes Franchitti.
And look at this. Buddy Rice has pulled back into the lead. He's gotten around Kanaan while they were dealing with the lap traffic. So
third time this afternoon that Buddy Rice has led.
Buddy Rice took advantage of some lap traffic, got back around Tony Kanaan.
And there's a look at the number 24 of Felipe Giafoni. Comes from a very actual famous racing family in Brazil.
Yeah, quite well known down in that.
Giafoni is like the well, there's his spotter, and that's Robbie Buell.
A lot of former race car drivers as spotters we've talked about. Robbie Buell for Giafoni, Al Unser for Simmons, Tom Sneva now with Townsend Bell, Pancho Carter with Thomas Schechter. So a lot of former drivers now making a living by helping out new and upcoming stars.
I would say the Giafoni name is kind of like the Unser name in this country.
Right.
And again, Franchitti looks to the inside of Fernandez. This is the battle for 5th position.
Trying to make something happen there. Now he's Fernandez has stayed to the outside. I'm a little bit surprised because usually it's not quite as quick around out there, but he stayed out there pretty much the whole time. And Franchitti looks like now he has made the pass.
Oh, Franchitti's able to keep his car right down that white line.
Yeah, and that's the whole key. If you can keep your car down on the white side or on the white line and still have it handle well, a lot of guys get down there and the car wants to get loose on them down on the inside, but it's a little freer when you run up at the top of the racetrack. But right now, Franchitti doing a nice job right around the bottom.
Lap 128.
Oh boy!
Tucked in behind Alex Barron.
Right there, been real easy to make some contact. Buddy Rice right now pulled out into 6 or 8 car lengths lead.
You're missing nothing really on the racetrack because this is the best battle we have going right now.
Yeah, these two guys have been going at pretty much like this for the last 10 laps. For a while, Franchitti will lead, and then Fernandez will get back around him. It looks like Fernandez, when he gets up there having to deal with the lap car, he just can't quite do it. Now, as I say that, he gets kind of a run on him this time, so maybe he will pull it off.
Race control could be calling. Oh, that's Carpenter.
Yeah, that's Carpenter. We said
those cars are painted up just alike, the 51 and 52. Race control could call Carpenter and say, get out of the way. Let him go. So up in front, Rice continues to lead over Kanaan and Mira back in 3rd position on lap 131 of 200.
The long weekend.
Our leaders, so they're a good quarter lap behind the leaders of the race.
Right now, Mira once again was the fastest that last lap. So we saw that information earlier that he had been the fastest on 9 of the 12 quickest laps of the day.
Well, we've had
a costly pit stop.
Right, we've had a very clean race right now, but I think Mira would love to see a yellow flag so he can get back up there and battle with those guys. He's catching them, but he's catching them ever so slowly.
Well, he's only 3.2 seconds back. At one point, after that costly pit stop, he was more than 7 seconds back. So he's trimmed more than twice or half of that lead away.
He's very quick. He's still the quickest car on the racetrack. He's just got far behind. If it does not, if they do run these last 70 laps or 63 laps under the green, then we'll see if he can catch him or not. But they will all have to make one more pit stop.
Well, that would be a story. If we ran the rest of the way green, the only yellow came on the at the green flag.
Ran 195 laps under the green. Whatever it was, I don't remember exactly what lap the green came out on, but not a yellow flag. That would be pretty amazing.
Well, Rice right now enjoying a half-second lead over Kanaan. Mira is 3 seconds back, but he is the fastest on the racetrack. Consistently, lap after lap, the fastest.
That's Fernandez, Herta in the yellow car, And of course, Franchitti in the blue car. Those three cars racing for position, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And those two guys side by side are teammates. That's Dan Weldon back there not far behind.
Weldon back in the 10th position right now. There are 10 drivers on the lead lap. Actually 11 drivers in the lead lap. We're showing Barron in 11th position. The first driver a lap off the pace would be Carpenter in number 52. Then Jeff Simmons in the number 20.
Looks like
Downs and Bell.
Downs and Bell heading back for the.
Well, he had some problems earlier.
That's when he went back into the infield and got things going. But he says everything's going good now. But he is down as we watch Jeff Simmons.
12 laps back.
Jeff Simmons, who Al Jr. is spotting for and helping get through this first race. And quite honestly, having a pretty good run. He's a lap down, but he's been very consistent. He's been very clean. He hasn't caused any problems. As we got kind of a.
Well, keep in mind that Al was 21st out of 22nd cars last week at Richmond.
Right. So Jeff Simmons having a good run here in his opening.
Teammates having a good run up here. This is the battle for 5th position. Herta in 7, Franchitti in 27. Now Michael Andretti does not like to watch this.
No, he certainly doesn't. Meanwhile, the leader just keeps on trucking. He's got several car lengths now over Kanaan.
Yeah, but keep in mind, still the fastest driver on the racetrack is Mira. He's chopped that lead to 2.8 seconds.
Well, Franchitti and Herta, very equal race cars as Franchitti gets a run on him, gets to the outside of him. Meanwhile, right behind him, Castroneves is all of a sudden kind of giving him a run.
Yeah, look at Masura on the high side of Castroneves. They're stacked up side by side, bumper to bumper, nose to tail on lap 145. 55 laps to go. On board inside the helmet of Dario Franchitti.
You can see what it looks like from his perspective and all the gauges and lights on the steering wheel that he's got to keep track of it. Look at Matsura. He got around Castroneves that time around. He just kind of took off. Carpenter hanging right in there with that group. He's running as fast as they are, but he got a lap down.
So Rice now has a 1 second lead over Kanaan and an almost 3 second lead over Mira back in 3rd.
That helmet cam with Franchitti there is something else, isn't it? Paul, he is having a really racy race, isn't he, Franchitti?
Yes, he's been up and down, and thankfully he's back up again. But as we can clearly see, the first 6 cars are Honda powered. Honda have really got the edge here. Even Penske's are struggling to keep it in the top 8. Toyota are really getting thrashed.
Christopher, what are the ramifications or implications, if you will, of that? I mean, since we went from 3.5 litre to 3 litre, Honda really have sort of just blitzed everybody, haven't they?
Yes, when you consider how strong Toyota were last year, I mean, this is a significant moment for the series because the rule makers have always tried to make sure that things were on a level pegging, and they gave Chevy a big break last year, bringing in the British-built motor into the series last year. Now everything's been cut down. Honda are really looking very, very strong. And for a championship winning team such as Scott Dixon's Target Chip Ganassi team to be having the sort of trouble they're having, I'm sure it's not the G-Force chassis. We're sure it's the Toyota engine has got a problem.
Yeah.
And it's making great racing, let's not get it wrong, and all the teams are different. There's a proper element of competitivity in what we're seeing at the moment, but it's all Honda. And I bet the rule makers are going to have to go to try and sort out something here.
It doesn't
Get the
matter.
Toyotas back in again.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what engine you've got. If you don't keep enough fuel in it, it ain't going to go anywhere, is it? And we've seen Thomas Scheckter with problems there.
Yeah, that's very, very sad. I don't know whether that's a poor call from the engineers themselves, or just it didn't pick up the last few gallons in there, or teaspoonfuls probably is what he needed. Big problem for him was he came in, managed to get back to the pit crew, filled up, took forever to get it started. When it's just gobbling air, unfortunately all the pipes fill up with air and it takes forever to get it to run cleanly again. So Thomas, all the good work of running in 3rd place, and he's back now in 9th.
Okay, but we are now approaching the final stages of the race, or at least we're into the last quarter, and it's shaping up into a rip snorter of a finish, all being well. So let's return now to Kansas.
The real battle is between Kanaan and Mira for second position. Fernandez is third, then Herta and Franchitti right along with Dixon right now, who's 2 laps off the pace, back in 16th position. And look at this. Here's the battle for second position.
As Vito Mira just moved up, he wasted absolutely no time. He and Buddy Rice are both running about 1 mile an hour faster than anybody else on the racetrack. I mean, they are just absolutely smoking right now. And when he caught Kanaan, he just moved to the outside, went on around him, didn't even think twice about it. Now everybody has to make one more pit stop, and they will be able to make it to the end, no matter whether there's any yellows or not. So I think they're right now trying to strategize. Some of them are going to stay out there hoping for a yellow, try to stay out as long as they can, but you don't want to make a mistake like Schechter made and stay out too long and run out of fuel.
Well, there is your leader. Rice enjoying a 2.6-second lead over his teammate in the Rahal Letterman team. There he is coming off the corner down now. You got 1 lap car. That's the number 20 of Jeff Simmons. There's a lap car between second and third.
Yeah, the next pit stop, we'll know how things are going after the next pit stop when they get back up to speed. It seems that Vito Mira, the longer they run on the racetrack, the faster he's going. He's running about 0.5 mile an hour faster than Buddy Rice right now. And Buddy Rice is running almost 2 miles an hour faster than the third place car Kanaan. So those two guys just absolutely blowing everybody away. So we know that if they're all got the same engine, so got to be the handling of the race cars, the drivers, got to be something else going on there, because it's not all Hondas or they wouldn't be running 2 mile an hour faster.
You think there might be team orders if Vito gets right up behind Buddy?
I don't know. I would think not, but we'll see.
They're going to bring Mira in before they bring Buddy, and I believe. I don't think they'll bring both the Rahal Letterman cars in the same lap, and we anticipate Mira the next circuit. So they will stagger their pit stops.
Yeah, and that makes good sense. You want to be able to get out of the pit area. You don't want your teammate, just like the last time when Mira killed the engine, if he'd been sitting there in front of Buddy Rice wouldn't have been able to exit the pits near as quickly. So, it makes good sense to stagger those pit stops so you don't have to do them both at the same time.
Well, right now, Mira is 2.3 seconds back in second position. Another half second back to Kanaan. Fernandez is fourth. Then Herta, Franchitti, Mitsura, Castroneves, Hornish.
There he comes.
And there comes Mira on lap 158.
Now this time, if he makes another mistake, it'll cost him the race. He cannot afford, at this point, to make another mistake and kill that engine.
Well, they also can't afford to make this pit stop and have the yellow come out.
No. Well, kept the engine going, got out of there very quickly. Now you can see Buddy Rice. That's him right there on the end. He's getting ready to come in next.
That's Franchitti. So the final round of scheduled pit stops here on lap 159. And here comes Herta.
All these guys, final pit stops under green. It's amazing. They made every pit stop under green. And we've seen maybe 3 or 4 mistakes. But considering that most of the time, I'd say 70% of their pit stops are made under yellow conditions. They make a lot of pit stops under yellow. Herta came back out, was getting ready to leave just as Rice was coming in.
They check the pit time. Quick stop, good stop, wow. 8.1, good stop. And he's right there at the end where he can really put his foot in it and get back up to speed.
Well, that was a very good pit stop. We'll see when they all get everything going back out on the racetrack. But here comes Fernandez.
Oh, the shuffling of stops. Castroneves becomes the 5th different leader. I'm going to show you a replay of Buddy Rice when he came in the pits. He almost spun this thing. Now, this is the replay. It's coming a little hot right here. Oh, hang on.
Man, he was trying to get her woed. You're only allowed 60 miles an hour when you get to that line. You get that cone. If you don't get it stopped, you get a stop and go penalty. He did not want that, so he was hard on the brakes, downshifting, trying to get that thing woed, and almost spun it in the process.
Well, the two Toyotas are up in front right now. Castro, Evans, and Hornish. They have yet to make that pit stop. They stay out. Then when they cycle through, Rice will retain the lead over Mira.
And here is Castro Evans in the pits right now.
He pulled in at an odd angle there. Not a whole lot of room on that left front.
Yeah, he probably didn't. There's probably a car parked back there when he pulled in. Couldn't get in very straight, but still looked like they get in and out pretty well.
So Hornish and Castroneves for Team Penske making the final pit stop. That will give Rice the lead. Mira rides in second, but Mira now is about 2.2 seconds back, and that's exactly the gap between first and second before they made the pit stop.
Yeah.
And there's Townsend Bell, who has had a long afternoon. He's like 11 laps off the pace, back in the 19th position, now in lap 163. Matched, he can't get around.
Now he gets a little bit of a run down one straightaway. He gets that little pull, a little draft if he pulls right in behind him down the straightaway. And he sucks up right behind him, and then as he pulls out, that air catches him again. Again, it's kind of like following a big truck down the road at 60 miles an hour. If you're right close to him and don't notice it, but when you pull right out into the wind, that headwind really slows you down. It pretty much affects these cars the same way.
Last lap again, Vito Mira was the fastest on the racetrack. He's back in second. So as you watch this battle, there is your leader, Buddy Rice, as he completes lap 169. The lead now is under 2 seconds, 1.9. Mira is second, then Kanaan, Fernandez, Franchitti, Herta, Castroneves. Those are the drivers on the lead lap. In 8th position, a lap down is Hornish. Weldon is 9th, a lap down. Barron is 10th. Simmons is 11th, 2 laps down. Matsura is 12th, 2 laps down. And Manning is now 13th, 2 laps down.
Yeah, so those guys all trying to gain or maintain, but I think right now the only thing that Buddy Rice is trying to do is just run that thing for everything it's worth, because his teammate is slowly cutting into his lead. He cuts in about 1/10 of a second a lap. Well, at that rate, he's got enough time to catch him before, with 29 laps to go, he will catch him before the end of the race. And there he goes back around Dan Weldon again. So you can see right now, it's not very far behind. 1.5 seconds back is not very far on the racetrack.
And right now, here's a statistic for you, Larry. We are 171 laps into this race, and Vito Mira is running faster than he qualified yesterday.
Yeah, he still maintains a terrifically high speed. He's running very quick and very smoothly out there on the racetrack.
Look at some action back in the pack. That's the Simmons red number 20. Almost contact right there with Matsura. Look at this. Look at that. It was contact. There. This was a lap before from Darren Manning's on board.
Well, that young man.
That got the rookie's attention.
Yeah, we said he was a rookie and might have a lot to learn here. Well, he's got to learn you can't pull out on the straightaway into a guy that's running on the outside of you like that. Either that or Little Al's not being a very good spotter right now.
Oh, man.
Fernandez is
stacked up too wide at lap 174.
Now remember, Fernandez, Franchitti, and Herta, the last 3 cars in that group, are racing for position. Those other cars are all lap cars. They're lap down, and they're also racing for position, but they are not racing Fernandez for position. Oh, look at this.
3 wide, the rookie in the middle, and there's the contact. You saw it occur. You saw it occur as they went 3 wide, and the rookie got together with Matsura. Our second yellow of the afternoon at lap 176.
There's no way that was going to work. Those two guys kept racing each other, Matsura and Simmons, and of course they were racing for 11th and 12th, so they were racing each other.
They had touched a couple laps before.
Yeah, they touched a couple laps before. Now Matsura had been he'd been warned before this race that he had contact 4 different times and had 2 different crashes in the last couple of races, and they had warned him. And
there's the spotter. There's Al Jr.
He's up there.
He can take his water bottle and head back to the hauler.
His day's pretty much over. Hey, Jeff, you just crashed. I'm going to leave.
Yeah, Jeff yells, "We've got a yellow," and then they said, "Yeah, you brought it out."
Well, we'll see. We'll get a better perspective, but there's just no way. When you're 3 wide like that, you can see right. Oh, Simmons went up. There's just no way. There was not enough room. Simmons was touched on both sides. He really didn't do anything wrong because
Fernandez pushed the issue.
Well, Fernandez is. That's Manning. Those 3 guys are racing for each other. Manning is the one,
Manning stuck his nose down in there.
I was going to say, we talked about Matsura getting his hand slapped, but I'm going to tell you, Manning has gotten his hand slapped a few times too because he's been in just as many crashes. Now, he didn't get in that one, but he
helped to trigger it.
Right, he helped to trigger it, and he's touched as many guys on the racetrack as anybody, well, more than anybody I've seen at the races in the last 3 or 4 times.
We kind of laughed at the opening of the show when we had that comment about Scott Sharp being very aggressive. That's the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, Darren Manning has taken way more chances than a lot of these other guys have, and if they haven't said anything to him and they've said something to Matsura, then the officials have seen something we haven't seen.
Now, Matsura's okay. Helmet, neck collar in hand. Well, so our second yellow of the afternoon. We've gone from lap number 5 to lap number 176. So we've had our final pit stops. So now it's a matter of getting the debris off the racetrack and going back to green flag racing.
Yeah, late drama there in Kansas. Paul, we were saying, weren't we, that we'd only seen 1 yellow so far. That was very unusual. It seems as if it was all going to finish quite straightforward. But some crash in the end, as they always tend to be at that speed.
At 200 mile an hour, they're not light impacts. But I thought, to be fair, that the American commentators were a little unfair on Darren, who admittedly last weekend was having a little bit of bumping and boring, but this weekend was just on the track doing his thing. And he got wrongly brought into that, but fortunately he's able to carry on.
Here it is.
Yeah, those 2 guys. I mean, Simmons, it's his first race. He's inherited a good drive, and he's just got to feel his way, and unfortunately he must have felt that.
Christopher, how do you see it?
Well, I think really he did move up and tap Matsura one time, and then right here, Darren is going about his own business. I don't think that I agree with Paul that I don't think he's going to get the blame here. And when he saw that Manning was coming past him, he just really took another twitch up to try and keep out of the way, and that took him into Matsura. It is so much about experience. I mean, this guy, Jeff Simmons, good guy. He was in an Indy Lights team a few years back with Britain's Johnny Kane, the cool Lights team. He's a good boy. But he's been out of racing for a little while. He's not had many runs. Get in there in this. It's a long way into the race. It's tiring. It's hot. It's 90 degrees out there. It's hard to focus and concentrate. And he's in a bit of a battle. He just made the wrong call. Jeff Simmons' fault, and poor old Matsura's in the wall.
Paul, we had seen some really dramatic pitches just before that. They were 2 by 2 side by side, and then as we saw with those the result there, 3 by 3, it really was building up into some real dramatic kind of racing. Is that the way it was going to go, and may still go right through to the end?
Well, certainly now with this yellow, anybody who's looking for any fuel is going to be in there like you can't believe. But now it's literally going to be, as they say in America, a dash for the cash, and it's track position, and that's the fight that's going on right now.
Okay, I haven't been mean enough to put you on the spot yet so far this afternoon, gentlemen. But Christopher, come on, call it for us. Who's gonna get that cash?
I think I'll stick with Buddy Rice. I think Mira lacks the experience to kill it at the end.
Okay, so 1 for Rice. How about yourself, Paul?
Well, it's not the end of the race yet, and I still think that Tony's put himself in a good position. Well, let's wait and see. It's going to be a Honda for sure.
Okay, we will find out very shortly as we rejoin our commentary team in Kansas.
Yellow.
Yeah, quick yellow. They're getting ready to go with about 20 laps to go, it looks like.
Working on lap 179 right now as the wrecker leaves the crash area. Be interesting to see what Mira can do on this restart. This might be his best opportunity.
Well, if things keep going the way they have, Buddy Rice is going to have his hands full keeping Mira behind him, because Mira has been, for the last half of this race, he's been the fastest guy.
Here's Townsend Bell, and look at this. gets real squirrely, and the Purex guys jump back over the wall, so he gave them a scare. That was a couple of laps earlier when he made a pit stop.
Yeah, that's one of those get on the throttle too quick and hang on kind of deals we were talking about.
Stab and steer, I think it is.
Stab and steer it, man, because he was on the throttle and just got away from him. And luckily, it didn't hit those guys or the wall.
Now he's languished back at the back of the pack today. As there you take a look at the field summary with Rice and Mir, the teammates. Then Kanaan.
Schechter's the last car on the racetrack right now, but he's 4 laps down. So the rest of those cars have, well, I guess Townsend Bell is still out.
Bell's still in it. I'd like to hear from Bobby Rahal, who owns the cars. They're running 1-2 now.
See if there's any team orders here.
There's the lead car behind the pace car.
So I don't have any difficulty with that. You know, it's every man for himself out there, but the rule number 2 is don't take each other out, so we'll see.
How about the fact that Buddy has already won and Vitor is trying to scrap for that very first victory? You got to sort of give sentimentally a shot his way.
Well, you know, Buddy's in the hunt for the championship, so you say, well, yeah, I hope he wins. But like you say, for Vitor, it'd be his first win, so I mean, I think you can argue the case either way.
Bobby Rahal trying to stay neutral here. The pits is watching his 2 cars run first and second. Let's check in down with Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Here with Michael Andretti, Andretti Green. This yellow flag coming with 20 laps to go changes your strategy completely?
Not a lot. It helped Dan a little bit because I think he would have lost a lap because of the problem he had in pits. He was going to have to make another pit stop, so it helped Dan a little, but it's going to make it a little interesting with the shootout, but I'm not sure. I mean, the Rahal cars are running pretty good today, so it's going to be pretty tough.
All right, let's send back up to Paul.
Well, that is an understatement that the Rahal boys are running pretty well this afternoon. And right before this yellow, we were talking about how Mira was clipping off about 1/10 of a second a lap. And so he will start in second position, 180 of 200 laps now complete. It will be a shorter yellow than what we really had anticipated when we saw it develop. But you still see some of the crew members down on the apron.
Yeah, they got the one to go, but they're not going to go green this time. They've still got guys on the racetrack, so it's going to be at least one more lap.
Lights are still in the pace car.
Lights are still on the pace car. So they've got another lap or 2. So it's going to be about an 18, 17 lap shootout to the end. And as we heard Rahal say, there's no team orders, every man for himself. But don't take each other out.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah. Whoever takes the other one out is not going to be ingratiate himself very much. But Buddy Rice is going to have to stand up in the seat if he wants to keep Mira back there, because Mira has really had.
Well, Mira has consistently been the fastest driver on the racetrack.
No question. He's really been quick here.
And this is not a fluke, Larry. You saw what he did last week when he finished second.
Yeah.
Qualified well, started this race in 3rd position. Had that one mix-up in the pit area, which put him back.
Yeah.
Had it not been for that, he'd be leading this thing.
Well, that's right. He would be right now, and he was leading it by quite an amount before that pit stop. So.
Okay, you're right along board, Franchitti. Franchitti back in the 6th position on this restart. That's Fernandez directly in front of him. On the restart order, Rice, Mira, Kanaan, Fernandez, Franchitti, and Herta. And we're still under yellow.
Yeah, and realistically, Fernandez and Franchitti and Herta, they have a lot of lap cars between them and the leaders, so it's going to be difficult for them to get through the lap cars and get up there and challenge for the lead. So basically, I think the battle for the lead is going to come down to Rice, Mira, and perhaps Kanaan if he can get a break.
Still some safety vehicles on the racetrack. You saw them to the right of Rice as he went down off the corner. There's your field summary.
Yep.
As now 183 laps have been completed, 17 laps to go. So we're looking at maybe a 15-lap shootout. What we thought was going to be a real short yellow is beginning to become a lengthy yellow.
Well, yes, it is.
And there's the visor being kicked back down on Franchitti.
Yeah, you can see him. He put it up for just a second and then pulled it back down. Just get a little fresh air in there under this yellow flag.
Well, race control is saying at least one more lap and we'll turn them loose. There you see a safety vehicle upper right as you go through the corner onto the backstretch.
It looks like
Johnny Rutherford in that SSR Chevy pickup truck, the pace vehicle here this weekend.
It's like most of those guys are getting back in the trucks, going to head for the infield. So
well, they better hurry up. They're going to turn them loose this lap.
No, they're not going to do it this lap. They'll probably get one to go this time by.
There's a look at Castro Neves. He's back in 7th. He's the last driver on the lead lap.
The only non-Honda on the lead lap. He's driving a Toyota. Every other car on the lead lap is a Honda. Just about every other car on the lead lap is a team Ray Hall or team Andretti Green, except Fernandez. So we shall see as these guys. Castro Neves back there in 7th spot. We'll see if he can pull any rabbits out of the hat here at the end. There's no lap cars between himself and 4th place. Herta's in front of him, then Franchitti, and then Fernandez. So he could get up to 4th. I doubt he's going to make in 15 laps. I doubt if he's going to make much more headway than that. There's Franchitti.
Herta's right behind him.
Fernandez right
at the line. We're being told now from race control they will get the furl flag one more lap and we'll turn them loose. We'll have a 14-lap shootout.
And there is Fernandez running in 4th. He's had a very good run today. Hasn't been up there challenging for the lead, but he's had a very, very strong run. Always in the not always, but considering he started 11th, he's been in the top 5 most of the day.
He'll restart in 4th position. So it's Rice, Mira, Kanaan, Fernandez, Franchitti, Herta, and Castro Neves. Those drivers are on the lead lap. Then it's Weldon, Hornish, Barron a lap down.
And there is Kanaan, and you can see he's got a couple of lap cars. That's Weldon and Hornish in front of him. And then get to Mira. So he's got 2 lap cars to contend with before he can get up. And of course Rice and it's got Mira right on his rear wing.
Well, Rice in his 3rd pole start of the year, 4th time in the front row. Of course, he won from the pole at Indianapolis in that rain-shortened event back in May. A scramble for position across the line, and here comes Mira to the high side.
Hornish just pulled over and let Kanaan go. It was a good gesture on his part. Buddy Rice is not going to give it up that easy, though. He says, teammate or not, I still want to win this thing.
Now, like you heard Bobby Rahal say, he's in the points chase.
And look at Weldon. He's moved up. Kanaan, he's moved up out of the way, too, to let Kanaan go by him. So both great gestures on the part of Weldon and Hornish to let Kanaan get up there. And meanwhile, Hornish says, thank you, I'll take that spot, too.
Lap 188. The Rahal Letterman teammates running 1 and 2 right now. Rice and Vito Mira. Rice, of course, won at Indianapolis.
Well, the real question in my mind is, how good is Mira in this short a time? At the end of a run, after about 20 laps or so, he seems to be much faster than anybody else. But the first part of when the yellow comes out or after a pit stop, he seems to be about the same speed. So the longer he goes, the faster he gets. Will 15 laps be enough for him to build speed and get around his teammates?
Here comes Kanaan. Kanaan has moved up in 3rd position. Now he takes the high side. Here he comes. Tries it again.
Well,
has the nose out by a few inches, but that's a long way around.
This is the kind of racing you come to expect. He has been fast all race.
Kanaan's advantage if they're racing side by side.
Oh yeah, he's not going to go around him, but oh boy, they're getting close.
Nick Rahal may be sprouting some gray hairs down there in the pit area.
Oh, I'm sprouting gray hairs, and I don't own either one of those things. Wow. Side by side.
Laps wind down. Kanaan has a great view of this battle up in front. They're at lap 190 now, just over 9 laps to go.
Well, Mira appears to get a bit of an advantage going into the corner. Rice gets a bit of an advantage coming off the corner. Now Mira pulls back up the side of him. Now as they head into number 1, Mir will probably pull up with just a little bit. Nope, not that time.
Kanaan right there in the 3rd position, watching the battle side by side right in front of him. 4th is Franchitti, 5th is Herta, and Fernandez is now 6th.
Wow. They were very close coming off of that corner. Look at Kanaan, though. He's looks to be faster than either one of them. Doesn't know who to help out here.
Not sure where to go. And was this...
I think that's Hornish on the outside. He's a lap down. Well, we've seen him do that move a lot on the outside, passing guys late in the race.
And Weldon's a lap off the pace.
Yeah, the first 3 cars in your picture are the only ones in that group that have a chance to win this race right at this point. Those 3 guys racing for position. Dan Weldon and Hornish are racing for position, but they're a lap back.
Once Vito Mira put himself out there, he has to stay out there at this point. He can't duck back behind him because there's Kanaan right behind his teammate. He's stuck out there right now.
He's got to stay out there, hope that something happens. His teammate has to lift just a little bit. If not, we've seen Sam Hornish do this time after time after time, try to time that run to the finish line. And if they stay side by side like this, whether he can time it right or not, well, that's going to make all the difference in the world.
Working on lap 195. We'll have 5 laps to go. The next time by the start-finish line.
Those guys sit so close coming off of turn number 4. Everywhere else on the racetrack, it looks like they give each other quite a bit of room. But coming, look at Kanaan.
Look at Kanaan. He started to go high, then ducked back low. I tell you what, you're not going to outbreak these guys. Wow.
Side by side, yeah, Kanaan. It looks like he falls back. He gets this big run on him, but once he gets up there, he's got no place to go. They're running down near the inside of the racetrack, so he can't go under him. And of course, he can't go on the outside. He can't make it 3 wide.
Well, could we be setting up for the closest finish in the history?
I don't know. We've had some close ones. We've seen a lot of
usually
finishes.
at Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Usually not at this racetrack, but right now, look at Mira. He tries to stay on the bottom side. He pulls down, going down the straightaway, trying to get a little of that side draft.
3 laps to go. He had the advantage by a nose right there. Maybe that's what he's counting on.
Well, Sam Hornish made a living doing that for a couple of years, using that little draft thing right at the end. Now that time he lost some ground. That's the first time we've seen him fall that far behind. So whatever happened wasn't good that time around.
You're on board with Dixon. Dixon well off the pace. They had a good race for Scott. He's back in 12th position, the defending Indy Racing League champion.
You know, he might have been trying something because that time he was way back going into the corner. When he came off, he almost beat him to the line. So maybe he's just trying to figure out how to time it in order to beat him to the white line. The only place on the racetrack that matters is that white line in the middle of the front straightaway. So if he can beat him there, that's where he has to do.
White flag coming out this time. Franchitti's back in 4th.
Now that time it looked almost like a dead heat.
All right, here it is. Final time around.
This time he falls back a little bit. We'll see if that's on purpose or if that's...
Got to run on him down the backstretch.
Got to run that time.
He's going to win it. He's on the high side. Vito Mira up high. Buddy Rice down low. Here they come. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Who won it? Who won it? It was a photo finish.
Well, the timing and scoring is say that
Rice
beats him. Unbelievable.
Rice got him by mere inches. And let's see if there's a wave.
I couldn't
tell.
tell.
Thumbs up, but Buddy Rice wins for the 3rd time this season.
Well, Mira led it on the white flag lap, and I couldn't tell who led that lap, and it was just exactly the same that time, and I couldn't tell. It's a good thing they have electronic scoring. Man, oh man, what a terrific race these 2 guys put on for the last 20 laps.
I want to hear from Bobby Rahal, the victorious car owner, with a 1st and 2nd place finish here this afternoon. And this has become customary now.
For the team, I'm so proud of the team, and those Honda engines were unbelievable. And for Vitor, you know, great job, and of course, Buddy. And boy, just for our team, for Argent, for Centrix, our sponsors, I mean, couldn't be any better.
As close as they got on the last 10 laps, that had to make you just a little bit nervous.
Well, Kanan couldn't run in traffic. You know, he'd get close at the end of the straight, but when you see he'd drop back in the corners, and as long as those two guys ran side by side, there was no room for anybody to go.
What can you say about Buddy Rice a week when an American legend like Alan Sir Jr. retires? Here is Buddy Rice. Looks like he's stepping right in that position.
Well, there's no question. I think Buddy's he's a great young driver. He's got a long career ahead of him, and just thrilled to have him on board with us. He's been a dream as far as a driver, a team player like you can't believe, and I'm really happy for him.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, Bobby Rahal extremely happy, and let's just put that in perspective. Nearly 2 hours of wheel-to-wheel racing, 200 laps, 300 miles, and in the end it came down to 2/100ths of a second. What a finish. Where do we start? Let's start with the finish. Paul, what about those last few laps?
Yes, it was all there, wasn't it? I mean, that was a classic teammate duel to the end. Fortunately, they didn't take each other out, and unfortunately, Tony didn't have anything to offer them. He did try to get through the middle, though.
But Christopher, if we go back 3 or 4 laps, you were looking at it and thinking they're going to mess it up for each other, and Kanan is going to come sailing right through.
Well, what's happening when the two of them are running side by side like that, they're making such a big hole in the air for everybody else that literally Tony Kanan was able to sit back in third place, slightly throttled off, just keeping an eye on everything, and he thought that he was going to have a chance to get through. I'm kind of surprised he didn't, but pleased for Buddy Rice. Good job.
And is it fair to say then that the two of them, actually, the Rahal guys, actually, in final analysis, they got it right?
They did get it right, and congratulations. I mean, we were also just saying as we were watching that just now that really these two, compared to a Kanan, compared to a Franchitti and so on, have not got an enormous amount of experience. Vitor Meira certainly not, and Buddy Rice, yes, he's the Indy 500 winner, but even he wouldn't say he's had a lot of track time in the last 3 or 4 years compared to the others. So it's a good job by relatively inexperienced men.
Paul, just a line about the lapped drivers who were involved in that shootout at the end there. And I'm sitting there thinking they've got to get those guys out of the way because they're not at the sharp end and they could compromise somebody's race there. I mean, how do you see that?
Yes, unfortunately, I can't see the sense in Hornish at all. He was racing his brains out and he was actually a lap down. Yeah. It was just getting in the way of everybody. Andretti Green, I'm sure, will have a word with Brian Barnhart and suggest perhaps blue flags and a little bit over the radio needs to be louder.
Okay, Vitor Meira, at the end of the day, a little bit unlucky not to actually get the checkered flag because he was the fastest guy on track today.
Yes, throughout we were keeping a careful eye on the timing and scoring there, and he was really incredibly quick. At one stage he was just faster and faster and faster, and for a lot of the time was running quicker than he qualified.
We can actually hear from the winner, Buddy Rice, now.
That's pretty good in anybody's book. I think you'd all have to agree that, you know, in this league, if you can keep running the top 5, you're doing great.
I mean, we've done an excellent job. I can't say enough for Vitor. I mean, he's done a superb job, 2 back-to-back seconds. There's a huge boost for us in the points right now. We needed this win. And what can you say here at Kansas Speedway, the home of Argent's race right now that they sponsor. So this is great for Argent, Pioneer, and Honda, and the Panos G-Force, and can't say enough.
Those last lap, let's relive that again. I mean, it looked like that possibly your teammate Meira had you by 6 or 8 inches coming off of turn 4. How did you climb back at the stripe?
You know, it's just the way timing was going to work out. He had a good run on the lap before, and you know, just the Honda power helped me out right there, and you know, we're going to hold the bottom and hold it the whole time. So that's where we need to be.
Bobby Rahal said there were no team orders. Whoever wins, wins. And said, I just don't want these guys to take each other out. I know you had a lot of confidence knowing Vitor was going to give you plenty of room.
Yeah, I mean, I knew you could run against Vitor. We have before last year when we were semi-teammates and stuff. So it was great to be able to run with him. I'm glad for a Rahal 1-2, so this is great.
And your dad, Bud, watching back in Phoenix, he's always been here, but today he wasn't.
You better be sitting down. You're not supposed to be up, so you better be relaxing right now.
Buddy Rice saying hello to Dad, and he is in victory lane for the 2nd time this year. Rahal Letterman runs 1-2 on a wild finish here.
And the official winning distance, by the way, 3 inches. What a fantastic finish there in Kansas. And that is just about it for today. Our congratulations to the Rahal team. And as ever, some great wheel-to-wheel racing from the Indy Racing League. This is now the toughest part of the season. There are races almost every weekend, and we will be back in a fortnight's time for round 8 of the series. It's the Firestone Indy 200 from Nashville, Tennessee, and they will be racing under lights. They'll be lining up Saturday evening US time, midnight here in the UK, on Sky Sports 2. Dario Franchitti, by the way, 4th today, and Dan Weldon was 9th. My thanks to our guests today, Christopher Tate and Paul Cherry. Fantastic job with your insider knowledge. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We will leave you this evening with some of the best moments from a wonderful Argent Mortgage 300. A very good evening to you.